We have arrived on history's doorstep. New York City's Madison Square Garden is the site for a showdown billed as the biggest fight in women's boxing history. It took years to put this match together, but tonight it happens. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for the undisputed lightweight title and for history. Welcome inside the big room, everybody, in Madison Square Garden. It's Justin Shackle getting you set on Before the Bell. The former world champ Chris Algieri will join me in a few moments. Later tonight on Dazn, history being made here in New York City. The two-division, current undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Katie Taylor, puts it all on the line when she steps inside the ring with the seven-division world champ, Amanda Serrano. It is the first time that two women will headline a main event in the history of the world's most famous arena. And for an event this big, it's only appropriate that we give you an exciting card from top to bottom. And we see it starting here on Before the Bell. It begins with a little local flavor with Khalil going back inside the ring. The Jersey City, New Jersey native makes his second night fight of the year against William Langston at 175 pounds. Then Skye Nicolson becomes the first Australian woman to fight at Madison Square Garden. She's in her third pro fight against Paisley Davis. And it's the return of the Albanian Bear. Staten Island's Rashad Motti is fighting for the first time in his hometown arena as he takes on 25-year-old Joe Eli Hernandez. The main event on Before the Bell is a title fight. Austin Ammo Williams puts his undefeated 10-0 record on the line against unbeaten Cordell Booker for the vacant WBA Continental Americas middleweight title. 7:30 Eastern, it's the main card on Dazn, and it begins with the first regional title defense of Olympic gold medalist Galal Yafai's young career. The WBC International Flyweight champ is in his second pro fight against the veteran contender Miguel Cartagena. Then it is the first of two undisputed title fights as Franchon Cruz Dazn and Sweden's Aline Cederus finally meet to sell it at all at 168 pounds. In our co-feature, two former champions clash as Liverpool's Liam Smith steps into the ring against new 154-pounder Jesse Vargas. And then the main event, it is champion against champion, trailblazer against trailblazer, Katie Taylor going up against Amanda Serrano. Chris Algieri, the current champ, Alicia Bumgarner joining us here. Guys, it is an unprecedented venue for two female fighters. It's record paydays as well. Alicia, what else do you think it means leading into the future for boxing?
This means everything. This is setting the platform for a lot of young girls to see that I have something to look up to and that we have something to look forward to at Madison Square Garden. So this is everything for a young girl looking up to wanting to box.
Chris, you saw the full running order there of matches, top to bottom, pretty stacked. What jumps out at you?
You know, it's actually a very thick, deep card. You know, there's good fights in this card. It's not just the barn burner and history, main event. It's all the fights leading up to the show. There's a lot of local talent, like you said, and I think there's going to be some real fireworks.
We're going to have time throughout the course of Before the Bell to kind of deep dive into this main event, but really quickly, guys, what are your initial thoughts? Where do you think this fight's going to be won or lost?
You know, it's going to always be a win just because, again, we're moving a step forward in the sport of boxing for women. And, again, it's going to be action-packed. I still haven't picked a winner yet, but I think once the round one comes, I will.
For me, I think it's pace. Pace is going to be the storyline of this fight. Amanda Serrano starts super fast. If she can get that pace and come out of the gate the way that she normally does, I think she's going to have her way. If Katie can slow it down and use that pitter-pat style and the in and out, I think she's going to make it a very long night for Serrano.
Yeah, we know the technique for Katie Taylor, pretty much unmatched, likes to move around. She can do it as well as anyone. And for Amanda Serrano, the first thing you think about is the power. Power, power, power. But she has more technique than just there. If you want to go head-to-head inside the pocket, though, forehead to forehead, is that a place where Katie Taylor could be a little vulnerable?
You know, she definitely could. Amanda is very great at body punches, and I know she digs in those body punches. So, again, I kind of see it at a distance and just kind of like a match, a boxing match, and, engaging in some activity. But if Katie feels Amanda's power with those body shots, she may back off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a big part of it, too, is whether Katie's going to be able to take the power. The power's real. Amanda Serrano can hit, and I've heard it from girls in the gym. I heard from women who fought her. She can really fight. She can really punch. And if Katie Taylor can take that power, especially if she feels it early, she might get really brazen and start making this fight a fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's interesting. This fight has been built up for a very long time. It's finally happening here. It was delayed, on again, off again. That's kind of the theme with a bunch of our fights on our main card. When you look at the co-features, same thing. Liam Smith, Jesse Vargas. This build-up has created authentic animosity between these two, and it's been a big week of fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those guys got into it at the weigh-in. They got into it pretty much every time they're in the same room. They're going at it. Which, listen, as a fight fan, I'm here for it. Sign me up. I'm looking forward to that fight.
And then another undisputed opportunity for two women at 168 pounds, Franchon Cruz Dazn and Aline Sedarus. Another on-again, off-again fight. It was stalled due to COVID, but here we are about to settle it all at 168 pounds. What jumps out at you when you think about that matchup, the big athletic Sedarus going up against a powerful Dazn?
Yeah, just the weigh-ins kind of spoke for itself. Dazn definitely, stepped up to her competition and just is proving her existence. Like, hey, I'm here to fight, and, she wants to be victorious, and I believe she will.
Well, the action here on Before the Bell is about to get going, and it's going to start with Khalil Coe and Willie Langston. Let's go inside the ring with David Diamante.
I know, first time here.
First time here? I was going to ask you if you ever fought here.
Never. Not yet.
You'll get there.
Trapping like the narco. Got dope like Pablo. Cut throat like Pablo. Trap trees with the Draco. On the north got Diego. Say hasta luego. We'll be in rapping kilo. Snub nose with potato. Straight out the jungle. Yeah. This real rap, no mama.
Making his way to the ring, please welcome the kid, William Langston.
Are you sending us to the yeah, what do you mean?
I don't know. What do you mean sending it to me? What do you mean? I thought I had it.
There you see William Langston, 28 years of age, 6-2 record, 4 knockouts. He fights out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, where he won the Wisconsin Golden Gloves in 2019. He turned pro shortly after that. And this is the biggest platform he's fought on, and the biggest venue as well. He is in New York City looking for his 4th straight win after stopping Josue Obando in 6 rounds back in December. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a 3-year pro boxer looking for his biggest win to date.
And now, making his way to the ring, please welcome the undefeated Big Stepper, Khalil Coe. I welcome to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York, USA. We are live on Dazn for an historic evening of World Championship Professional Boxing. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Matchroom Boxing and Most Valuable Promotions. We're sponsored by William Hill, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Chain Mine, Crowd RX, Renaissance Hotels, and JD Sports. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission. Introducing your 3 judges scoring our first contest tonight from ringside, all from the state of New York. Eric Marlinsky, Kevin Morgan, and Waleska Rodan. Introducing your 3rd man in the ring at the sound of the bell from New York State, referee Charlie Fitch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner wearing the black trunks with the gold tassels. He scaled 173 pounds, bang on. His professional record, 6 wins, 2 defeats. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the kid, William Langston. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white trunks with the orange trim. He scaled 174.6 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 2 wins, no losses, 1 draw, both of his wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Jersey City, New Jersey, here is the Team USA podium star, ladies and gentlemen, Khalil, Big Stepper Coe.
Good evening, William. Good evening, Khalil. Gentlemen, you both know the rules. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Please touch close now. Come out fighting at the belt.
Khalil Coe getting ready for his first 6-round matchup as a professional against William Langston. This is his 5th straight fight scheduled for 6 rounds or more. He's had 2 straight KOs. Coe coming off an impressive 2nd-round stoppage of Dylan O'Sullivan back in Phoenix. Promising amateur turned young pro, trying to find his way with some speed and power. You see Coe in the white trunks, Langston in the black with the gold trim to start us off here on Before the Bell. Later tonight, it is Taylor Serrano inside the big room here at Madison Square Garden. Coe starting out pretty calm, trying to size out Langston, looking for a stabbing jab. We saw a lot of that in his last fight against Dylan O'Sullivan. Worked the body well with sharp punches before hunting upstairs.
I've had the chance to call a few of Khalil Coe's fights thus far, and I can tell right away he's in great shape. I saw Dave Scooter Honig, a great personal trainer and fitness trainer out of Long Island, in the corner of Coe, so you know he's been working hard.
Yeah, that's been the difference, according to Coe. He was talking about some weight management issues he had a little bit earlier in his career. Look, he's only been pro for 11 months, but he's run into some trouble making weight. Now he has a new team, has that new strength and conditioning coach. He called Scooter one of the best in the East Coast, and that was the first thing you noticed as well at the press conference, at the weigh-in yesterday, looking very trim, slimmed down. And for a 175-pounder who had some difficulty getting below 180, now he's talking about, in the near future, potentially going down to 168.
I mean, he's got power at 75, so, I mean, at 68, he'd be a monster.
This is a very different pace for Khalil Coe compared to his last match. Again, this is a 6-rounder. He said he kind of felt 6-rounder is more similar to an 8-rounder. I know some people believe a 4-rounder is more similar to a 6-rounder. What do you guys think? Is 6 rounds more like 4 or like 8?
I just know that I'm not trying to be in the full 6, so.
between the pacing but also the urgency to impress. That's obviously there for a 4-rounder. You lose one round and maybe doubt starts to creep into your mind. 6th round, you could probably pace yourself a little bit more. There's more wiggle room for error.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the 6-round distance. I always say if you can go 8, you can go 10. 4 is tough, like you said, between scoring, draws. You know, it's very easy to come out of a fight like that with a near loss or a draw. But a 6-rounder, I mean, you're going to go as hard as you were going in the 4-rounder. You just got to do 2 more rounds.
Yeah, I would agree.
Coach trains 12 rounds at the gym. He thinks this shouldn't be a problem at all. Was sparring with Joe Smith Jr. in this training camp. Trains out of Williamsburg Boxing. Again, from a city that you can see from Manhattan, Jersey City, New Jersey. MSG's right in his backyard as round 1 comes to a close.
That's some great sparring for Ko, especially because Langston is he's 6'2". You know, he's got height, he's got reach. So body type, at least, he's very similar to Joe Smith.
Yeah, this is his first time facing an opponent with a height advantage of more than 1 inch. Now, that could possibly be a reason why he was a little more selective with his shots in the opening round.
That's a good jab.
Coming up on Before the Bell, Rashad Motti going to work against Joe Eli Hernandez, Austin Ramo Williams in action against Cordell Booker. 2 undefeated titles, undefeated boxers for a vacant WBA regional title there. Williams fighting for his first professional title, but coming up next, it is the 3rd professional fight for Skye Nicolson as she goes up against Paisley Davis. Start of round 2 here between Ko and Langston.
Already you see Ko is starting to go towards the body, really focusing his punches down low off that jab like you just saw there. Smart move when you got a tall, long guy with a big, long torso like that.
Large target practice for Khalil Ko. Busy puncher, though, has been William Langston. 28 years of age out of Kenosha. 3-year pro, Golden Glove champ back in Wisconsin, trying to get his biggest win to date. Khalil Ko was talking about the body work that he puts in, and he says when he's putting it in, he's watching the fighter's reaction, trying to take the punches.
Good right hand over the top there from Ko.
I definitely think Ko wants to set him up. You know, establishing that jab, but just some little punches. Just keep the jab out.
Langston firing back with a 3-punch combo.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Ko. He seems a lot more measured in his pace, and like you said, he's setting things up. He's setting little traps. He has the difference. You can tell he has more experience. He's more savvy, and you can really see the level starting to show up.
And even though they haven't really ventured outside the middle of the ring, you can sense Ko is a little bit easier on his feet here.
Yeah, he's got better balance. He's moving around the ring much better, much smoother. He looks comfortable.
Pushing off that back leg, that jab is very sharp.
Jab lands from William Langston.
I like this version of Khalil Ko. I mean, I've seen him come out of the gate really strong and then will slow down during some of the rounds. But now he's being very methodical, very measured, setting up his punches. He's in complete control right now.
He's forcing Langston to think twice a little bit about coming in. Big uppercut from Khalil Ko, but it's that jab. Starting upstairs, then downstairs. Langston punches with him. Lands a lead left. Again, there you see it. The double jab, changing levels.
You can see Langston can fight, and he's not here to roll over. He's in that fight. He's trying to get that jab, trying to use that reach. He's just in with a different level guy right now.
Right hand from Ko. Final 20 seconds of round number 2.
Right hand right there. Yes, sir.
Khalil Ko trying to impress near his hometown. Has family and friends in attendance right now. His father, Paul Bird, in his corner, as well as his head coach, Eric Ramon. A double jab scoring some points for Khalil Ko in round 2. Well, that right hand just smearing the chin of Langston, not too far off the mark for Khalil Coe.
It was a nice setup to use that left hook to lead his way in, to throw that right hand over the top. Smart move.
I would like to see Coe kind of pick up the pace a little more with the jab, just because I think that he's comfortable. So let's kind of press a little more.
The last fight, he used the jab, and he started downstairs like we saw him begin to do in round 2 to set up the left hook. Could be a punch we watch for here in round 3 as we get going. For the third round, scheduled for 6 here at 175 pounds to start us off on Before the Bell. Khalil Coe, William Langston, and it's Langston in the black trunks with the gold trim coming out pretty busy to start the third round. There's a right hand exchange. Coe lands one upstairs.
Good counter there from Coe. Caught Langston who's coming in. That's the thing. When you're more aggressive, you leave more openings. So Langston's coming out with this round, looking to let his hands go, but it gives more opportunities for Coe to land his big shots.
There's that jab from Coe, stopping Langston's momentum from the inside. Coe got tagged slightly with a counter right. Langston showing pretty good timing here in round 3.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure on Coe right now. Keeping those hands busy, coming forward, controlling the center of the ring.
Left uppercut counter from Coe, and then a right hand to the body.
Shots too.
Oh, right uppercut. Mashing Langston.
Well, I think the boxing match is over now. We're going to see a dogfight.
Khalil Coe.
I like the fight in the middle.
Yeah,
actually.
Here we go, forehead to forehead in round 3. 2 shots to the body from Coe.
You know, I think Coe showed in the first 2 rounds that he's the man in charge on the outside, and now he's trying to show that he's the man in charge on the inside as well.
Another right uppercut lands from Coe. 2 landing flush in the third, and another uppercut going upstairs. Langston trying to punch back with him.
That right uppercut is doing some damage. See some blood from the nose of Langston.
Langston bringing the pressure now, slowing down William Langston. And it's the uppercuts causing the most damage here in the third round. Left hand to the body.
Yeah, look at the difference in body language now. In the beginning of the round, it was all Langston coming forward, controlling the center. Now it's completely switched on his head, and it's all Coe coming forward.
A lateral movement from Khalil Coe. And William Langston on the back foot here in the third round.
Watch out for the right hand. Looks like Coe setting it up.
30 seconds to go in the third. This is a calculative and methodical Khalil Coe here at Madison Square Garden. He eats a left hook and counters back with a left hook to the body.
Good 2 hands to the body there.
William Langston on the retreat. Coe trying to go for the home run with the left uppercut. Very good back and forth round, but Khalil Coe controlling the majority of that third round.
Langston started the round strong, came forward, controlling the center of the ring, really letting his hands go, but allowed more opportunities for Khalil Coe to get his power in. And you could really start to tell he was wearing Langston down. The right uppercuts were vicious. The body shots with both hands were very effective. Great round for Coe. I think he's starting to separate himself.
So the world famous Madison Square Garden tonight. We'll be live on the zone. 2 cups, drink up, get in your seats. Big night of boxing tonight.
Here you see William Langston. He's fought in his home state 4 times. Again, resides in Wisconsin, has had 2 fights in Atlanta, 1 in Ohio, South Carolina, but here he is in the Northeast for the first time, and in Madison Square Garden. Coe is Langston's second undefeated opponent. The first was Cruz Stewart, who KO'd Langston back in 2019. And we start the 4th round here in our opening bout of Before the Bell. Along with Chris Algieri and Alicia Bumgarner, I'm Justin Shackle. We are getting you set up for Taylor Serrano later tonight here in the big arena in New York City. Khalil Coe coming off in an impressive round number 3. Left hand lands across Langston's face. And the right hand coming back. Khalil Coe moving with some rhythm. Good timing, good agility. We've seen a more athletic version of Khalil Coe so far throughout this fight.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the more rounds, he has more time to set things up. He's trying things out there because he's comfortable and he's fit. So he feels like he's okay that he can try some different things out, even with an awkward long guy in front of him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Coe is just enjoying being in there right now and just really just showing his experience in the ring.
Coe stepping out of the way of that 3-punch combo from Langston.
That left jab there from Langston, that's been the most effective punch for him thus far. The only thing he's really been able to consistently land.
He's working close to the ropes. Blood still coming down the nose of William Langston. With a left hook. Good guard by Coe. But here they are again, forehead to forehead, working at close range. 2 hard punches to the body from Coe. Coe standing right there in front of him.
One thing I do see from Coe. Oh,
big right hand by Coe. And another
perfect. Left
uppercut. That rattles Langston back. And Langston trying to keep that distance with the left jab. Another punishing right hand from Coe.
Heavy, heavy shots tonight from Khalil Coe. You can definitely see the improvement in his conditioning. We're deep into the 4th round, and he's still throwing big shots.
Left uppercut followed by a right cross, or beg your pardon, right hook from Coe. That was probably Langston's best combo of the round, 2 uppercuts. But it seems like Coe is eating these punches well, and his punches continue to get harder here in the 4th round.
Good body shot there inside from Langston.
Left hook from Langston. He's putting together a good sequence here.
Coe definitely has to keep his head off the line with those long arms from Langston. You know, it's easy to get through.
Yeah, I was going to say a little earlier before Coe landed that big shot. He has a tendency to pick his chin up in the air when he's being offensive, and that's when Langston's been able to hit him, especially with the jab.
I
All action round between both these guys. Langston started early. Coe dominated the majority of the middle round. Langston tried to come back a little bit toward the end of the round as well. But the cleaner, heavier shots that seem to be having more of an effect have been coming from Khalil Coe.
Coe coming out of the corner, it looks like that right eye is pretty swollen. It's getting puffier and puffier. Yeah, you know, for that 4th round, the punches from Coe more impactful, but Langston, over that final minute or so, was putting together the more consistent sequences.
Yeah,
Might have stolen that round.
That was his best moment of the fight for sure from Langston. He let his hands go. He's actually landing with much more consistency than he has for the previous rounds. But yeah, like you said, there seems to be a little bit of swelling around the eyes of Coe.
25 seconds into round number 5. This is scheduled for 6 here on our opening bout Before the Bell. It's the first 6-rounder for Khalil Coe, Jersey City, New Jersey native. He said never in a million years did he think about fighting at a place like Madison Square Garden when he was growing up as a young boxer. He didn't think about the venues that boxing could take you. He just thought about fighting. And it really wasn't until, as he lands an overhand right, he didn't learn about the potential platforms that you could fight on until he needed a passport when he made the national team.
That's funny to think about because I thought the exact opposite. That was exactly why I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight in the guard.
And you did?
And I did.
Upstairs and downstairs?
Yes, both. I never thought boxing would take me around the world, but I knew that I was going to go to the Garden at least.
What about you, Alicia? Did you have a venue in mind when you were coming up as an amateur?
I did not. I just knew of just basement, boxing fights. And I'm like, sooner or later I'll be able to go to a real venue. And, here we are today.
Nice body shot on the inside there from Ko.
The right hand from Ko. Landing right down the middle.
Ko's been showing some pretty decent head movement as well. Haven't really seen him do much level changing and slipping and sliding like that, so that's good to see that they're working.
Ko changing levels.
Nice feint there from Ko, setting things up.
And another stabbing jab.
I like that stutter and then that stab jab to the gut. Good little movement there.
I think it's always great to work off your feints, just to see how someone reacts.
Feints always work best when you got power. If you landed something big, now you got the guy thinking about it. Ko just stepped into southpaw. See how effective he can make it.
I was about to say, we were seeing quality jabs upstairs and downstairs earlier this fight. We saw a couple earlier this round and kind of waiting for that right hand to be unleashed. And then he slipped into southpaw. Here he goes back into orthodox.
Seemed like a bit of a round where Ko wanted to kind of reset the tone, get back to his boxing, get on the outside.
Familiar with something like that.
There was that right hand to the pit of the stomach from Ko during that round. Good shot. You see him still consistently hitting to the body. Went back to using the jab quite effectively in that last round, trying to set up those big body shots. Even switch sides, showing different aspects to his game.
The only time that Khalil Ko has gone the distance in his brief pro career was a majority draw against Aaron Casper back in November of last year. That was a 4-rounder back in New Hampshire on the Andre Quigley card, and that was one of the fights that Ko pointed to in terms of didn't cut weight properly. That's where poor weight management came into play, but he has looked much different in terms of his physique,
his output as well.
Yeah, his footwork has been looking terrific as well. He's had a pretty sound game plan for Willie Langston. Quick counter jab from Ko.
Looking good. Khalil is looking good right now. Moving very nice in and out. Good to see in the 6th round that he still has his legs, still feeling good.
Yeah, training for 12 rounds is paying dividends here. Left hook from Langston.
Nice hard, stiff jab there from Ko.
Again, that head movement coming alive here in the final round from Khalil Ko.
I was curious what Ko we were going to see in this 6th round, if he was going to come out and use his boxing ability, or if he was just going to try and just be a bruiser and bust Langston up. And we're seeing he's being the boxer.
Do you think it's wise that we're seeing this different dimension from a young fighter like Khalil Ko after coming off a dominant knockout?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to see the levels, and there's a lot of potential in this kid, and he's got to be able to do different things. You're not going to be able to blow everybody out.
And I would agree with my fight 2 weeks ago. I came off a devastating knockout, and again, just getting in the ring again, and you have to see where your body's at, where your mind's at, and what's working for you. Your rhythm is everything in the ring, and so if that's working for you, that's what you're going to keep up.
Yeah, we neglected to congratulate you against Edith Matisse. Yes. Nice job, champ.
Thank you.
We all love knockouts, but getting in the rounds is important for development.
Absolutely.
At every stage. world champion or not.
I agree. I think that should, people should know that.
Right uppercut from Ko. Saw it earlier in this fight. And it's coming out here in round 6. Final 40 seconds to go. And Khalil Ko showing a different version of himself. And all for the better. Nice right. Two-hand combo. I think I'm more impressed with the head movement and the misses that Ko is forcing on Langston here than I am with the punch output with Khalil Ko.
I like that Langston didn't, back up. He's still engaging in the fight, which is making the fight even better. But, good for him as well.
Oh, absolutely. He came here to win tonight. But I agree, Justin. I mean, the head movement, the skill set of Ko was on display tonight.
I could have definitely seen an 8 or a 10 round fight with that.
Yep.
With them two, for sure.
Absolutely.
And Ko looked great in that last round. It looked like he could have done 8 or 10 tonight.
Exactly.
That's probably the most encouraging aspect of this individual fighter, based on what we were saying before. Weight management looked a little sluggish only 2 fights ago. Came out really strong and energetic, kind of like a bull out of the China closet in Phoenix. Much different version here, and it was impressive. There are different styles.
This is the version that I heard about that was terrorizing the gyms in New York. I hadn't seen it yet, but now I have.
Very good sign for Khalil Ko here. As the doors open to Madison Square Garden, his family and friends on hand from Jersey City. He grew up in the tough streets on the Hill in Jersey City. Fought a lot as a kid. His mother brought him to the boxing gym at 13 and really never looked back. He's been able to get hooked up with New Jersey Boxing Hall of Famer, former light heavyweight champ Jimmy Dupree. Began competing at 17. Won a national title. Made a big name for himself when he KO'd the Cuban Olympic gold medalist Julio Cesar La Cruz back in 2018. That's where that kind of put his name on the map on the amateur circuit. Former Team USA product. And a good performance here in his first ever performance at Madison Square Garden.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. Kevin Morgan, 60-54. Eric Marlinsky, 59-55. Waleska Rodan, 58-56. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated. Big stepper, Khalil Ko.
So Khalil Ko picking up the win, improving to 3-0-1, and a nice variety of scorecards there. I had a 4-2. How'd you see it?
I had a 5-1 for Khalil Ko.
Okay.
I agree, 5-1.
Okay. Wide range of scoring there, and for Khalil Ko, showing good footwork, good head movement, a variety, looking fresh after his first 6-round fight. What are your thoughts as he moves ahead into 2022?
I'm very excited to have seen a different layer to his style so far. We saw him blast people out in the past. We saw him struggle with weight, have trouble in some fights that we really wouldn't expect him to. Tonight, he showed the total package against a tough guy who was trying to win. So that's always impressive, too. It depends what's in front of you. If you're just blasting out guys who are rolling over, that's one thing. This guy, Langston, was here to win. He put up a good fight. He just didn't have enough for Ko.
And William Langston came to win. He was taller than Coe, had a few inches on him. But Khalil Coe, calm, collective, was calculative out of the gate in that first round. Reset himself maybe about midway as well. Had some devastating uppercuts where you still saw the potential punishment that he could put out against opponents. Overall, a very nice performance here for Khalil Coe. Another step before the big step up. 4 rounds in the rearview mirror. The first 6-round fight for him under his belt now as he improves to 3-0-1. Plenty more to come here on Before the Bell. We'll take a break and come back here in the big room at Madison Square Garden.
Tough times can even make you or break you. It was tough, but it made me.
This was the moment that Anthony Joshua became a major star.
I was just shouting at him like, come on, let's fight, where you running? And this is the passion of Dillian Whyte.
I thought there was going to be riots in the crowd, I really did. In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Klitschko down for the second time, all over the place.
You're one shot away from trouble or disaster at any point.
You have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come.
This is for the moments when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you, you went and changed the sport.
Taylor is an absolute legend of the sport of boxing.
This is for one of the biggest fights of all time. For the first women to headline Madison Square Garden. For greatness. For undisputed. For history.
Welcome back inside Madison Square Garden here on Before the Bell. The arena starting to fill up just a bit. One match in the books here on Before the Bell. A few more to come, including coming up next. It is Skye Nicolson going up against Paisley Davis. And Skye Nicolson just started her pro career less than 60 days ago. This is going to be her 3rd fight in 57 days. We called her debut in San Diego. She fought over in the UK only a few weeks ago. When you're starting off in your pro career here, how frequent do you want to see a fighter in terms of activeness?
I don't know about you, Alicia. I want to fight as much as possible, and I want to see them as active as possible, especially with a style like Skye. She doesn't get hit a lot. She's in and out. She's very good defensively, good upper body rhythm. So if she's not getting touched up in her fight, keep her busy.
Keep her busy. I would agree. Keeping busy is just seeing the experience. You know, you can get so much experience in sparring, but the fight is going to say a whole different thing.
Something to watch out for. Earlier this week, she kind of hinted that the changing in her style is slowly coming around. We'll keep an eye out for that. Let's go down inside the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, we are set to go to our next contest. 6 rounds in the featherweight division. Set to make a ring walk. Please welcome Shaniqua Paisley Davis.
There you see Paisley Davis, 31 years of age. She is 3-1, fighting out of Houston, Texas. Coming off a unanimous decision win over Rebecca Light back in October. That took place at a minor league baseball stadium. A little different atmosphere here. in New York City. Tonight, Davis fights outside of the Houston area for the first time in her pro career, and it is happening on the Taylor Serrano undercard, something that she called a huge opportunity for women's boxing.
And now, set to make a ring walk, please welcome the undefeated Aussie Olympian, Skye Nicolson.
Skye Nicolson certainly knows what venue she is at. Gifted with the New York Rangers jersey, the sweater, earlier this week. The Rangers are on their way to the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Skye Nicolson looking to stay undefeated tonight. 26 years of age, out of London by way of Queensland, Australia. 2-0, like we said, staying busy. She made her pro debut 57 days ago with a win over Jessica Juarez in San Diego. Then she outboxed Beck Connolly 3 weeks later in Leeds. Now she's looking to improve to 3-0 while making history. Tonight, Skye Nicolson is the first Australian woman to fight at Madison Square Garden.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, live on Dazn, we are set to go with our next contest, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by William Hill, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Chain Mine, Crowd RX, Renaissance Hotels, and JD Sports. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside, all from the state of New York. Kevin Morgan, Tony Paolillo, and Waleska Rodan. And at the sound of the bell, your third person in the ring from New Jersey, referee Harvey Dock. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with the red and white lettering. She scaled 125.2 pounds. Her professional record, 3 wins, 1 defeat. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, here is Beauty in Beast Mode, Paisley Davis. And her opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the white trunks with the blue trim. She scaled 125.6 pounds. Her young professional record thus far perfect, 2 fights, 2 victories. Fighting out of Queensland, Australia, here is the 2020 Olympian and Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Skye Nicolson.
Okay, boxers, you received your instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If you want, touch gloves. Come out at the bell.
There you see Skye Nicolson in the white trunks with the blue top, standing at 5'5". And Paisley Davis entering at 3-1 out of Houston. She stands at 5'3", a fast-paced fighter, stays busy behind her jab. Nicolson, more a quick in-and-out style. The southpaw, again, trying to quickly build up her pro resume. As we get going here, our second fight on before the bell. We saw that in-and-out style frequently in San Diego, Chris. But we saw more power punches, more left hands, a little bit more pressure in Skye's second fight against Beck Connolly. I think she landed more power shots in the first 3 rounds against Connolly than she did in her entire 6 rounds against Jessica Juarez.
Yeah, that's a great point. You can see already she's a lot more set in her feet. She's not having that in and out, bouncing up and down style like we saw in that first fight. So she definitely has been working on things in the gym and understanding that the pros are different.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, I think Davis's movement right now would kind of be difficult to even time with the bouncing. So I kind of like the pace that Skye's at right now.
Davis was asked about her path to a win. She simply said, apply smart pressure as she eats a left hand from Nicolson. But she doesn't want Nicholson's confidence to allow her to control the fight. She doesn't want to chase Nicolson down. She knows that she has the good reach, the long arms, but it comes down to pressuring Nicolson and trying to make her uncomfortable. You don't want to get baited in with someone with a long reach from like Nicolson. And again, another left hand from Skye, and it comes with a smile.
And I don't think that Nicolson really needed to move that much or needs to move that much. She has great fade in her stance. She can plant her feet and be able to pull way back because of her reach and length.
2 big left hands from Skye, a third one into the sternum of Davis. Coming back with a right hook. Accuracy on display in the opening round from Skye Nicolson. That's a tone setter.
Good opening round.
Alicia, how good does it feel to walk back into your corner after a dominant first round?
It feels great. I'm like, okay, let's have fun. You know, when you have that confidence, you're gonna enjoy your performance and just doing it. And also, like, what's next? I'm like, no, Michael. Okay, what do you want me to do next? Keep doing what you're doing, right?
In the lead up to this match here on this night, Skye was asked what she wanted to showcase, and we alluded it before the match. She said that she, and this goes without being prompted too, she said that she was trying to change styles just a little bit. Her coach, Eddie Lamb, over at iBox in London, she said they're sitting down more on punches, being more aggressive, gaining power. She admitted the changes aren't going to come overnight. Well, we saw small samples of them in that Connolly fight. We saw really a whole different fighter in this first round compared to her first 6 professional rounds in San Diego.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a lot more comfortable, a lot more calm. She's setting her stance. She's trying to land power punches. She's throwing more combinations, too, which has been very effective so far.
I like Davis's movement. You know, again, she's still showing she's in the fight. She's coming forward, regardless if she can get hit with, you know, her long jab.
Yeah, she's trying. She's just not really sure how to get to Skye Nicolson. 1, she's a southpaw. 2, she's taller. 3, she's longer, plus the experience. But she's trying.
Ooh, tough coat to crack, and a left hand cracks Davis. And Nicolson winds up, goes upstairs, then downstairs, back up.
I mean, if Davis is going to have a chance, she's going to have to punch with Nicolson. When she's throwing her shots, she got to try and hit her at the same time.
I would agree.
Because the range and the movement is just going to be a nightmare to deal with.
But how difficult is that when you're dealing with a fighter whose reach is as long as Skye's?
Yeah, well, therein lies the issue. And that's why I think that her counters, she's going to have to wait till Skye commits in order to throw her own shots.
Also coming with the experience as well, knowing, you know, how can I be effective with the southpaw who's longer? How can I get inside? I also like this fight with Skye and Davis because when you're watching a women's fight, you're not just seeing a one-sided. I mean, here you can see obviously Skye's in control, but it still gives more to a women's fight that a lot of people are not used to seeing, and I like that. I like this choice for Skye.
Eddie Hearn said at the press conference that Skye wasn't happy that her last fight was against more of a, he used the term, more of a journeywoman opponent with Beck Connolly. She has said from the start she does not want to waste time padding her record with wins that she knows can come easily. She wants quality right out of the gate. She wants to be in real fights. And this is a quality opponent. You could see Paisley Davis coming here for the win. They're just having a tough time cracking the code right now of the Aussie.
I like that mentality. I mean, especially when you've got a deep amateur background the way that Nicolson does. I mean, come out the gate, look to make some big noise, make a splash. There's no reason to, like she said, try and get fights that she's going to win easily. Let's progress. Let's get toward that title.
I would agree, and I would say the women's division gives women that opportunity a little faster than the men's, given, you know, the competition that we do have.
Beautiful lead right to a check hook by Skye Nicolson. Nicolson looking to change levels. And again, a counter right from Skye. But Davis still coming on strong, trying to find the seam, the path on the inside. Really difficult when you have the long-range Nicolson.
I like that we're seeing fighters like Nicolson, that we're seeing out of the gate, their pro debut. We're seeing them progress as a pro. Each fight, you see that she's adding new folds, new aspects to her game, and we're here to see it each and every time.
Their quality left cross lands by Nicolson. Davis continues to try and discover the correct timing, the correct path to get closer to Skye Nicolson. So far, she's been unsuccessful. There's a beautiful shot, beautiful combination. As the accuracy is really being showcased here in Skye Nicholson's third pro fight. Still to come here before the bell, Rashad Motti going up against Joe Eli Hernandez, and then a regional title bout coming up between two undefeated fighters, Austin Ammo Williams and Cordell Booker. And the main card starting over on Dazn at 7:30 Eastern as we take a look at Eddie Lamb, Skye Nicholson's trainer. What advice can you offer a fighter who's seemingly doing all the right things heading into the mid portion of the match?
You know, I would like her to take control of this round, you know, have fun, kind of like put the pressure on her, kind of make it a fight. I like fights.
I agree 100%. I think, you know, we've seen that Skye can outclass Davis. Let's see if she can put some hurt on her. This is the pro ranks. This is what we need to do. You got to do some damage, too.
Fourth round between Nicolson and Davis. Skye Nicholson wearing the white trunks with the blue top, and Paisley Davis in the all black.
You can just see the self-awareness and the understanding of the range. Nicolson knows exactly where she is. She knows exactly where she needs to be to land her shots and not get hit back.
She was gifted with those long arms, that terrific range, and she is using it to her full capabilities. Good feint. Again, in and out with the jab.
I remember hearing an interview from Sergio Martinez, another jabbing, moving southpaw, former undisputed middleweight champion. He said, boxing's easy. It's all about timing and distance. And Skye Nicholson is showing that exactly right now. Timing and distance. I wouldn't really agree that boxing's easy, but Sergio's not wrong about the other part.
Paisley Davis staying in front of Nicolson. Her head snapped back with that quick up jab. Another one from Skye Nicholson.
She's having fun now.
Dancing on her feet. 15 seconds to go. Whacks her with a left hand. Davis lands a jab. Comes inside, but immediately Skye Nicholson repositioning herself nicely. Four rounds in the books. sense a little hesitation from Paisley Davis on certain potential openings here in this past round?
Yeah, I mean, Davis she's getting tattooed throughout every round. She's not able to land. It's one thing to get hit all the time. It's one thing not to be able to land on your opponent. That's the most frustrating thing. When your opponent has good defense, you're not able to touch them. That's the biggest confidence destroyer possible.
I would agree. I would definitely get frustrated when I can't land a punch. So it's like, what am I supposed to do?
It's almost like a glass window in between you and your opponent.
That's the thing, when you're not landing, you're not in the fight.
5th round underway between Nicolson and Davis. Our second bout here on Before the Bell. Along with Chris Algieri and Alicia Bumgarner, I'm Justin Shackle. We are counting down until the main card at 7:30 Eastern. Nice right hand from Nicolson here in Madison Square Garden. Later tonight, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for the undisputed championship at 135 pounds. Beautiful jab. Coming right down the chute from Skye Nicolson. And a terrific extension.
Yeah, Skye's shown a very educated lead right hand tonight, whether it's the jab, the check hooks, or in combination with the right hook. Seems like something that we're definitely working on in the gym, and she's been able to capitalize all night long.
Another stiff jab, and another. Right hook, going back. Full extension. And she buzzes her with a left hand. Big left hand on the side of Davis's face. Skye Nicolson having fun, making history in the process. The first Australian woman to compete here at Madison Square Garden.
Champ, let me ask you a question. Now, obviously, Skye doesn't have the power like you have. What can she do to try and do more damage and potentially get a stoppage or a knockdown against Davis?
You know, I would like to see her establish sitting on her back leg a little more. She has the power, and I think if she utilizes her legs a little more, pushing off your back leg, you can really just come right down the middle. And I think she'll possess her power a little better. Because you can pick your shots, you know, throw your jabs, but I think she has the power in the legs to really sit down on her punches. So maybe, you know, incorporate the sitting down.
Great insight there.
It's all in the legs, baby.
Yeah. All in the legs.
For a fighter like her, kind of fighting on the go in terms of development here, how do you kind of incorporate that into your training?
You know, you got to just slow the pace down. I know her being an amateur, she's used to a faster pace, so I get the movement. But sometimes you're going to have to go 3 rounds with a guy, a male fighter, who's going to sit there with you, and you're moving, you're sitting down on your punches, and you're not going to have too much movement. Maybe even put your foot in the tire. You know, are you familiar? That will keep you right in the middle and not even having to move anymore.
Harvey Dock having them touch gloves as we begin the 6th and final round of this one. Featherweight contest between Skye Nicolson and Paisley Davis. Skye Nicolson trying to win her 3rd pro fight in 57 days.
I will say one thing about Skye. I like the fact that even though she's having fun, even though she's having her way, she's trying new things, she's still been defensively sound. She hasn't been getting caught. She's maintained that distance. She hasn't been getting sloppy.
I would agree. She's definitely keeping her composure in there. Just having control and having fun.
It looked like Davis there had a little bit of a shoulder situation when she missed one of those wide swinging shots.
She came up wincing. A minute 15 to go. Does Nicolson sense that's an opportunity to lay some hurt on her?
One technical difference I do see from Skye is that when she's throwing her left hand, she's really getting her head to the outside. She wasn't doing that as much in her pro debut, kind of leaving her head right on the middle, where she was able to get tagged from time to time. There it is again. Gets her head offline, throws the left hand to the body.
Big 3-punch combo from Nicolson. Another lead right. Finding a home for Skye Nicolson here on Before the Bell. Nicolson coming into New York City, doing a lot of media requirements, fulfilling all those obligations, experiencing the full fight week. She said she likes to fight in the U.S. This has been a week with plenty of pinch-me moments for Skye Nicolson. This is a fighter that grew up looking up at Katie Taylor for everything that Taylor's been able to do for women's boxing amateur ranking. Down goes Davis as we close things out here in the 6th and final round. First knockdown for Skye Nicolson as a pro.
Well, good call, champ. You said she's got the power.
That's a great feeling, you know. That's a great feeling.
Nice icing on the cake there.
And that caps an essentially flawless performance in the Big Apple for Skye Nicolson. Just a straight left hand. Saw plenty of them here at MSG from Skye Nicolson.
You could tell Skye was really putting on the pressure toward the end of that last round. She knew there was not much time left. She wanted to do as much damage as she could, and she put a real exclamation point on that performance tonight.
As she should. I think that was great that she noticed that, and again, this just shows more of her, who her profile is, who she is as a fighter, and again, moving forward to her next fight.
All in all, a very good developmental fight.
That was a quality opponent who was in there trying not to lose. She was standing in front of her, competing. And Skye Nicolson continuing to try different things, maneuver around, ultimately getting her first knockdown as a pro. Kind of just looked at her left hand. Yeah, this could do some quality work. Interesting. Her manager, Paul Reddy, says that the plan is to have one more fight at this pace. So maybe 4 fights in a span of 80 to 90 days, hopefully in her first 8-rounder. And she'll take some time off, go home to Australia, come back, train in the UK, gear up for 2 more fights to close out 2022. Let's go down to the ring and make it official with David Diamante.
After 6 rounds of action here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals. All 3 judges scored this bout identically, 60-53. For your winner by unanimous decision, she's still undefeated, Skye Nicolson.
No question there in the scores. That was a pretty easy one to score.
Clean sweep. Skye Nicolson improves to 3-0. 3 fights in less than 60 days. And she wants to get at least 6 matches under her belt before the close of 2022. You see Skye being greeted by Eddie Hearn as she comes out of the ring. All smiles, especially after that first round, where she knew that she could take control of this fight quickly.
Dominant from beginning to end for Skye Nicolson, who was able to pick her opponent apart, maintain great defense throughout, and really just didn't give Davis any opportunity to capitalize on anything.
So Skye Davis goes back to the locker room, 3-0. Alicia, what do you think is next as Skye Nicolson continues to check off the boxes? 3 fights, less than a 6-day span. We saw her there display more power. What do you want to see from her as she moves along into her 4th fight?
Yeah, you know, as she mentioned, she doesn't want to patent her career. She wants to get in there with competitive fights. So again, I think a step up would be perfect for her. Again, she has a lot of experience. That's one thing from the amateurs that I had. So going into the pro world, just having a fight, it builds a fighter. So I would like to see her step it up.
Skye Nicolson improves to 3-0. We are 2 fights in the books here on Before the Bell. 2 more to come. We'll take a break and come back here from New York City.
This, I kind of went crazy. I wanted to go after him.
The young god, Gracie.
I only want to knock people out.
He just kept this motivation going. I was like, wait a minute, this boy just doesn't stop.
I felt like I had like hours to hit him with that shot. Boom! When I'm done conquering this division, I'll conquer the next one.
I will be a true world champion.
Man, what a fight.
Всегда хотелось именно раздавить соперника, где-то даже его уничтожить, а не поиграть с ним в шашки. То есть хотелось просто взять и съесть его.
Nobody wanted to fight him. I mean, he was killing everybody.
If I was going to go out, I wanted to go out on my shield.
I'm in 5th gear going backwards, and he's not even broke first.
Good pace on those jabs by Golovkin. Now we've got a war, but both men are firing what they've got.
This fight was the biggest fight in the world that could be made.
Был самый амбициозный, самый настроенный боец в моей профессиональной карьере. Его план сразу не получился. Мой план сразу сработал.
Welcome back inside the big arena here at Madison Square Garden in New York City. It is Before the Bell. It is Justin Shackle, Chris Altieri, Alicia Bumgarner. We've seen 2 fights so far leading up to the main card coming up on DAZN at 7:30 Eastern, and 2 more to come, including a title fight. Austin Emma Williams coming up in a match or so, and right about to take place in a few moments here. Rashad Motti, a guy you're pretty familiar with, a Staten Islander, the 5th borough as they call it here in New York. Kind of the forgotten borough, but for Rashad Motti, it's been rough and tough from a very young age, and the profile starting to grow even faster as a professional.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, he like literally grew up in the gym, you know, all around the gyms in New York. He's always been around, he's always been sparring, very, very high level in terms of his skill set. He's got some good power as well, and he likes to put on a show.
Yeah, Rashad Motti 11-0 with 7 knockouts. It's going to go up against Joe Eli Hernandez here in an 8-rounder for a welterweight match here. Tried to go down to super lightweight, both coming in heavy though, but for Motti, this is an experience because he's fought inside the Julio Theater, not only as a professional, but as an amateur as well. He's also a fighter from Staten Island who is much closer to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, but he said no, it's the main room here at Madison Square Garden. That's his hometown venue. This is going to be big for him, especially with that Albanian presence that's going to be here at MSG. Without further ado, let's meet the fighters, Motti and Hernandez. Here's Dave Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we're set to go with our next contest, 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Set to make his ring walk from Tamaulipas, Mexico, please welcome Joely Hernandez.
There you see Joely Hernandez, 25 years of age, and the record jumps out at you, 12-1, 10 knockouts.
He's fighting in the U.S. for the third time in his pro career, but it is the first outside of Texas as far as his U.S. fights go. 11 of the other 13 fights have taken place in Mexico, so it is tough to gauge the level of opponent that Hernandez has faced, but the results are there. He has 9 straight early stoppages, and his most recent was a first-round knockout of Juan Esparza. Bit of an unknown flavor for Rashad Motti tonight. And talking to him earlier this week, he did not take that for granted. He knows this could be a very dangerous opponent, and the only way he's going to find out is in the ring.
And now set to make his ring walk, fighting out of Staten Island, New York. Here is the undefeated Albanian bear, Rashad Motti.
We wanted to wait for the last chatter there. Rashad Motti, 23 years of age, coming out with an Albo 316 t-shirt, 11-0, 7 knockouts. He took care of Vladislav Baranov with a unanimous decision in Milan back in October. And now, like we talked about, fighting in the big room in his hometown arena. He understands that this is the big moment for a kid from Staten Island, fighting where the Knicks play, where Muhammad Ali performed. And he's looking forward to putting on a show for the Albanian crowd here to support him. There is going to be a lot of that. A lot of Albanian fans, a lot of flags as well. He says that brings him instant energy where he could spot an Albanian flag in the crowd during his fights.
Is this song given Stone Cold? Is this what
Steve
it
Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right. Okay.
USA live on Dazn. We are set to go with a special welterweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by William Hill, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Chain Mine, Crowd RX, Renaissance, and JD Sports. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From New York, Eric Marlinsky. From Connecticut, Don Trella. And from Massachusetts, Martha Tremblay. And at the sound of the bell, your third person in the ring from New York, referee Sparkle Lee. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim. He scaled 144.2 pounds. His professional record, 12 victories, 1 defeat, 10 of his 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico, introducing Joely Hernandez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the black trunks with the white lettering. He scaled already 143.8 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 11 fights, 11 victories, 7 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Staten Island, New York, here is the undefeated Albanian bear, Rashad Motti.
This is good right here. Yeah. You're ready to receive instructions, obey my commands, protect yourself at all times, touch gloves. God bless, guys.
There you see Sparkle Lee as the third person in the ring. One can only hope that she will be the third person in the ring for the main event later tonight with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Don't have that information privy to us yet, but if she is here, it's likely to happen. But right now, Rashad Motti looking to go to work in the big room here at Madison Square Garden. Motti in the all-black trunks. Joely Hernandez in the black trunks with the gold trim. This is 8 rounds between 2 welterweights.
Keep a lookout for the hand speed of Rashad Motti. He's got very quick hands, sharp jabs, and he's got a killer left hook to the body.
Fast hands, fast feet. quick and smart young pro. Had that fight in Milan back in October. The movement there. He was saying he didn't have a hard time against Baronov, but he had a hard fight. What's the difference, you think, between those two?
Well, you can have stylistically have the guy figured out, and you can be in control, and you can have a competitive one-sided fight in which the fight is difficult because the opponent is just a tough guy and he's there and he's making you stay on your P's and Q's, but ultimately you win the fight easy.
Like we mentioned, kind of a question mark with Joely Hernandez, and he might have woken up the Albanian bear with that rabbit punch. 12-1 for Hernandez, 10 knockouts, 8 straight fights though in Mexico. He's won 10 straight overall. And you just wonder about the quality of opponent below the border. We have a great example. Our last show in the U.S. in San Diego, Mark Castro taking on Julio Madera. Madera was a bit of an unknown. Ultimately, Castro came out on top. He outboxed Madera, but Madera was very strong, very powerful, and he knocked Castro down in the 3rd round of that last fight.
Yeah, you have to look past the numbers when you're looking at opponents and you're looking at records, because there are guys out there with 500 records that'll beat some of the top guys in the division. So you got to be careful.
We will see Mark Castro in action next week on the undercard in Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez going up against Dimitri Bivol, the zone pay-per-view. Here, Rashad Motti getting his timing under him. Lightning quick jabs. And step it aside.
Rashad looking very sharp right now. Doing a good job of picking his spots, utilizing his jab, using his movement. Oh, good counter there with a left hand over the top.
Going on the back foot, no less.
Great first round.
Fans liking the extra talking at the end of the first round.
You know, I'm gonna go as far to say that Hernandez, either his record is padded, or he was kind of playing it slow in the first round, because I did not see much at all.
See Motti's trainer, Arliano Sosa, his cut man, Sergei Korchinski, his father, Adrian in his corner as well. And it's been Adrian from a very young age with Rashad, driving him over the Verrazano Bridge, back and forth from Brooklyn to Staten Island, training for Muay Thai and kickboxing and boxing. Ultimately, he enters the pro ranks here with the Sweet Science. As we begin round 2, I think Motti wanted to come in there to touch gloves after getting the discussion from Sparkle Lee. Hernandez opting not to.
The speed difference is very apparent between these two. Rashad Motti much quicker in the feet and in the hands.
That jab comes in like a bolt of lightning. Good combo for Motti. Touching up the body.
Great body shots. I would like to see more of that. I think you can really get him out of there. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Hernandez does look soft in the midsection. It would be a good idea to focus on that.
Motti catching a rhythm here in round 2.
And like I said from the beginning, Motti does have a good left hook to the body.
There's another left hook down the chute.
Perfect.
And another. Hernandez with the showmanship. But we always know no means yes here in boxing.
I like how Rashad's not getting greedy. He's still using the jab. He's throwing the right hands up top, setting up that body shot.
I like the energy he's giving in this second round. It's only the second. He has my attention.
Motti looking for the timing.
Motti might be letting him off the hook right now, because it doesn't look like Hernandez wants to do anything.
Those recent flurries have slowed down Joely Hernandez even more here in round 2. Another snap jab for Motti. One-two combo. Shot Motti, his third pro fight at MSG. Again, first time in the big room. Hernandez coming back with a couple counters, but another behind the head.
Motti's doing a good job of using that right hand to time Hernandez as he comes in, chopping a straight right hand over the top.
Another two-punch combo, both punches landing. Motti just has the smarts about him. When there's the slightest hint that he could potentially fall into trouble, quickly throws up the paw, creates the distance, angles out of the corner. Sound ending to round 2.
Here we see Motti using the jab, staying very sharp, maintaining distance, and capitalizing on the difference in hand speed. A little bit of jibber-jawing between the two of them that round.
I make that face too when I land a great jab. That ooh face.
And Rashad Motti said he respects Hernandez's opponent's knockout resume. And he said it doesn't matter where they occurred. You can't downplay that. He said his goal is to get Hernandez out of his comfort zone and have him defeat himself. But I think Rashad Motti has a better understanding after just one round, let alone 2 rounds, of Hernandez's ability. As we go to round 3 here at MSG on Before the Bell, Rashad Motti, Joely Hernandez. Motti looking strong, smart, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before some power sets in as well for Rashad Motti.
Motti doing a good job of using his movement, his feints, and his jabs to really cut off the offensive movements from Hernandez. Good head movement there from Motti.
Another strong jab from Rashad Motti, his second 8-round fight here, trying to go to 12-0. More and more of this room being filled up here as we move along on Before the Bell. Motti believes in a year's time or so, he'd like to at least have some type of regional title, some type of small title, but also be able to have the opportunity to fill up the Hulu Theater downstairs. He throws a right hand. He thinks he could fill it up.
Well, there are a lot of Albanians in New York, and he does have an eye-catching style, so it's not out of the question.
Big left hand to the body.
Definitely seems like the left hooks to the body have had the most effect on Hernandez thus far. Big deep breath in there from Hernandez. I'm surprised Motti is being as cautious as he is. I don't necessarily think he needs to.
2 quality punches to the body. Hernandez shaking, going backward a bit.
I agree. I think his aggressiveness just speaks for itself, and Hernandez kind of backs down to that aggressiveness if he comes forward.
And I mean, the speed difference is so apparent. Hernandez is just too slow, doesn't pull the trigger. Rashad's really just able to get off.
This isn't hyperbole. It feels like a double jab from Hernandez. Comes at a slower rate. Oh, man. Great counter. Now Motti just toying with him, punching with him.
Watch your shoulder. Good.
20 seconds to go here in the third round.
Now, we haven't talked a whole lot about the weight, but I like Motti at this lighter weight. He was fighting majority of his career at 147. I think he's built a lot better for the 140s. Ooh.
Hernandez tried to put up a little bit of offense in the beginning of the round. Motti, being the matador there, was able to make Hernandez miss and was in control throughout the round. The most damage being done by the left hooks to the body. There we see Motti digging down to the guts. But for the most part, it's a story about speed. Rashad's got it, Hernandez doesn't.
When you have that much speed within your own ability, how much slower does it look like coming from your opponent's direction? How slow are you seeing it? Or does that intertwine at all?
Sometimes when you're fighting a slower opponent, if you have that big speed advantage, it can actually throw off your timing. You know, you're expecting them to respond in a timely manner, and they don't. And then there's a gap in your offense. So you got to be conscious and aware of the rhythm of your opponent, even if they're slower.
I would agree with that. I believe, you know, with just like my fight 2 weeks ago, I kind of had the same, the rhythm was just kind of thrown off because she was a lot slower than I expected. So, again, you have to find your rhythm and what's going to work for you. And sometimes it kind of slows you down in a way.
Absolutely. You can start fighting their fight at a slower pace. Yeah.
Right.
Hernandez coming forward moments ago. It's a cat and mouse game right now. Motti having words at the center of the ring with Hernandez. Digging down with that right hand. A minute into this fourth rounder. Or beg your pardon, this fourth round. It's an 8-rounder. Quickness, where that left hand starts below the waist of Motti and then finds a clean palm upstairs on Hernandez. Good double up with that left hand from Motti.
Motti's just picking Hernandez apart at this point.
The right uppercut and then the left hand elicits such a weird reaction from Joely Hernandez each time.
He literally just walked forward and then didn't throw a punch until he clinched with Motti. There's no offense coming from Hernandez. Motti looks like he is in no danger whatsoever. I really think that he could just walk Hernandez down, let his hands go, and get this fight over with.
So do we ask ourselves, as looking at the fight, do we want him to finish it? But as a fighter, sometimes it's just like, do we want to just go the distance, or can I really get this person out of here? Like, do you struggle with that?
No. If I can get you out of there, I want to get you out of there.
Good combo there. May have stunned Hernandez. He shakes it off.
Especially in my later years of my career, I was a lot more cautious when I was younger. Now I want to hurt people.
Big right hand from Motti, stinging Hernandez. Rashad Motti feeling it through 4 rounds.
I think he looks great. I love it, but I would like to see more. I feel like with a style like this, you're showing you're aggressive, you're showing the pedigree of a fighter that you are. get him out of there.
Yep.
You know, show us that. Show us that you can get him out of there. Because right now, you know, you're toying with him, which is great. It's great boxing. But a lot of people just want to see you get him out of there.
Yeah. Is there a difference here? Do you want to see him pick it up maybe another level or two, or do you want him to go from 0 to 60?
I mean, he can go 0 to 60 if he wanted to. But again, it's choosing how he wants to control the pace, as we can see.
I think the style he's utilizing is perfect. But when he has this man hurt, I think he can step on the gas more. Just take more advantage of the opportunities. Like you said, he looks great. Everything he's doing is working. He's actually been able to hurt his man a few times. But there's that extra gear missing where I think if he steps on it, this fight could be over.
I agree.
And still not take any damage.
Right,
He's not getting
right.
hit at all.
And as a fighter, it's asking yourself, should I step it up another gear?
Mhm.
I think well, at least for myself in my head, I'm like, okay, what gear are we on?
Yeah.
Well, I think even Motti said himself prior to the fight, he wants to stop it. He wants to get the guy out of there.
Rashad Motti from the South Shore of Staten Island. MSG always in his backyard, fighting in the big room, the big arena for the first time. Fought as an amateur in the Hulu Theater, fought as a pro in the Hulu Theater. Here he's on the big stage. He said it, this is where the Knicks play. This is where Muhammad Ali fought. And he is looking to go to 12-0 and potentially pick up his 8th knockout as a professional. Motti throwing darts with those jabs. Hernandez throwing paper airplanes through 4.5 rounds so far.
Good awareness there from Motti on defense. So he had to slip and slide underneath those shots of Hernandez.
What we were talking about before is the 4th round came to a close. Do you think Rashad Motti, obviously all of his experience as a youngster, but still a young pro, do you think he realizes that? Does he need someone to convey that to him in his corner?
Sometimes it's either way. Either your corner's telling you or you're telling yourself that. Sometimes as a fighter, when you're fighting, your focus is just that focus. And sometimes your corner needs to say, hey, this is what we need you to do.
Hernandez just cracked Motti with an overhand right, actually, as Motti was going back toward the ropes.
That was Hernandez's cleanest punch of the fight so far.
Oh.
A left hand to the body
Great
by
body
Motti,
shot.
and a quick clench from Hernandez.
Heard that one all the way up here.
I heard that. I heard that one.
He's kind of leaning toward that right side. Motti kind of knows where he has him right now, close to a bear trap. This may be it. This may be the moment where Motti could try and press in a little bit further.
That is one thing.
Another right hand.
He does lead with his head quite a bit, so Motti could be cautious of that. They did have a couple head clashes that Motti's been complaining to the referee about.
Motti, Hernandez being vocal throughout this fight. And a big left hand, right cross combo. Another right uppercut for Motti as Hernandez comes in. Sparkle Lee trying to restore order here in the 5th round.
I always think it's funny when fighters have words during a match because we're allowed to punch each other in the face. So why not go to that? It's not basketball.
I agree.
Good right hand from Motti as Hernandez closed in. A clean
As
kick.
Hernandez, he's getting the reaction that he wants out of him, and I think it's quite funny because he's doing what he's supposed to. But again, Motti needs to understand, like, you're in control. Finish the fight.
Here you see Hernandez with some choice words, talking to Motti. That's all well and good, but he's not doing much to try and win the fight.
Any Puerto Ricans in here tonight?
In his last fight in Milan, Italy, Rashad Motti fought Vladislav Baronov, but they fought before the doors to the venue opened. And it wasn't until about the third round where the doors opened, fans started to trickle in. And that's when he saw some Albanian fans and he heard the Albanian chants as well, and it instantly gave him an energy boost, he said. And that's where he kind of picked it up a notch, started using those uppercuts more against Baronov, and came away with a really decisive victory over 8 rounds. The crowd's been here the entire time as he makes his big room debut here at MSG. People continue to file in, and they're catching glimpses of Rashad Motti laying the hurt down on Joely Hernandez here.
You know, I could see how a fighter with a style like Rashad, how an empty venue would negatively affect him. He plays to the crowd. He likes to be vocal. He likes to be showy. So in an empty room, it might be tough for him to dig down and hit that X level.
More gamesmanship from Motti. A minute gone by here in the 6th round. He has controlled this entire fight.
I will say it is good that we're seeing rounds out of Rashad, especially that he's still looking sharp, because he's coming down in weight. You know, he's a few pounds lighter than he has been in the past, so he's getting the rounds in. He's testing out those new waters.
All that said, you can't help but sense that the opportunity for an 8th knockout is there. It's been there. And Alicia, like you alluded to earlier in the fight, he has the chance to charge up a bit. And it just seems like, at this moment, still a little bit hesitant. Still controlling every moment here of this scheduled 8-rounder. Jabbing on the move.
That's the thing, controlling every moment and still energetic. So there still is time for him to get the stoppage.
Left hand catching Hernandez again, and a big breath taken in by Joely Hernandez.
Yeah, the shots to the body are definitely the ones that are having an effect on Hernandez. Not so much. He's taking the headshots quite well throughout, whether they're jabs or right hands, but the left hooks to the body have definitely been leaving a mark.
Streaks a left hand cross as Motti along the ropes. 10 seconds to go here in the 6th. Now lunging forward, Hernandez. You know, Motti was getting upset and voiced his frustration earlier about the punches behind the head. There, he kind of just took it and said, all right, whatever, man. That's how you're going to play. We got 2 more rounds of this. I'll see you in the 7th.
Hernandez hasn't been able to muster much else up, so Rashad also stayed sharp, using that left hand, that educated left hand, with the jabs, the lead uppercuts, lead body shots, in total control.
You see Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn. How long before he knows he's on camera?
Setting out his next tweet.
Yeah. Start of the 7th round here between Motti and Hernandez, scheduled to go for 8. Our featured bout on Before the Bell, Austin Ammo Williams, Cordell Booker coming up after this, and then at 7:30 Eastern on Dazn, the main card, Taylor Serrano. Multiple titles at stake, 2 undisputed bouts as well, including that big historic main event here in Madison Square Garden. Right uppercut from Motti. Hernandez charging in more here in the 7th round.
Rashad being the matador once again, firing off 2 hard jabs and spinning off.
Joely Hernandez kind of reminds you of that slow-moving video game villain who you have no problem getting around as you make your way to beat that level. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, he's just plodding forward. He's taking the shots well, though. I mean, other than the body shots, he hasn't really been too affected by the punches from Motti.
Why do you think Motti's not taking advantage of something like that?
Again, I talked about the headbutts earlier, the clashing of the head. He could be concerned about that. It could be that he feels some of the power of Hernandez. And I mean, none of the shots have really landed, but you can just tell when someone hits hard, even if they haven't hit you yet. So he could just be being cautious. You never know how somebody feels in a ring.
Left uppercut scrapes Hernandez. 1-2 from Motti. Their stabbing jab. Left counter from Hernandez.
A rare punch there from Hernandez.
Oh, big left hand. Hernandez feeling it once again.
Yeah, you see him bouncing. You know that shot hurt. I wonder if Rashad is aware that he's hurting him. Sometimes when you're so close, you don't see it.
I can agree to that. Until you go back and watch the fight, and you're like, oh my gosh, I had him hurt
and then you're like,
a few
damn.
times. Right.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
A lot.
Oh, wow.
A lot. That's why it's good to have a good corner tell you.
I agree with that.
There's another left hand moments ago that have the same sting as the prior one.
Here from the UK, say yeah! You must do this for -1, that's freaking mouse. Everyday man's on the block, smoke trees. See your girl in the park, that girl is a mouse. When the team went quack, 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 you remember done it. All time that's me, my brother, he's gonna pump you. All time my man, my guy, he's gonna frisbee. I can't chop on the phone, moving that forward. Rush crispy, live on the zone tonight. Look at your nose. You blown up. Nose look like carbon hose. I tell a man's not hot. I tell a man's not hot. The girl told me take off the jacket. I said, baby, that's not hot. I tell a man's not hot. I tell a man's not hot. The girl told me take off the jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 8th and final round.
Here we go with the start of round 8. And I got to tell you, at times earlier in this fight, did not think that we would reach round number 8. But Rashad Motti in full control so far against Joely Hernandez. Been frustrated at times, just like this example right here. Mini headlock. Hernandez getting some emotion out of Motti. Big left hand pumped by Motti. But the aggression hasn't been turned up full throttle the way we have seen from Motti in the past.
Yeah, he just hasn't really, it hasn't been that consistent. He has done it at times, but it just seemed like he let Hernandez off the hook time and time again. He's had him hurt. He's hit him with some big shots. But I haven't seen that concerted effort or pressure.
You hear that Albanian chant. Motti's starting to jump it around. With 2 minutes to go in this fight. Another rifling right hand to the body by Rashad Motti. Motti continues what he's been able to do over the first 7.5 rounds. And another...
Almost caught the referee there.
Yeah, another foul throw from Hernandez. Oh, terrific move on the feet from Motti. Looking to secure victory number 12 as a pro. Remain undefeated here in his debut in the main arena at Madison Square Garden, his hometown venue. He said, yeah, there's places like Barclays Center in Brooklyn, but no, there's only one Madison Square Garden. This is his hometown arena. He's been putting on a show so far. Big 1-2 combo. Both punches landing upstairs, the left and the right.
Now the crowd gets into it. It's a real nice right hand from Motti.
He has about 40 seconds to give this crowd something to cheer about even further. Good check left hand from Motti as he talks Hernandez down.
I think with all the talk, he definitely could have used those for hands.
Oh, nice uppercut, timed perfectly by Motti on the way in. Cracks Hernandez on the chin.
10 seconds to go. Rocket right hand once again
Hernandez
from Motti.
is just coming forward. He's like, you know, we're here.
There's a bunch of ready Albanians in the back. Make some noise,
Looking like a clean sweep for Rashad Motti here at Madison Square Garden. And they embrace afterwards, him and Joely Hernandez, with a lot of words and a lot of showmanship as the rounds went by. In between all that, Rashad Motti looking very impressive. So you can check this bucket list boxing item off for Rashad Motti. Boxing here at MSG. He said the only other venue that he aspires to fight in is somewhere in Albania. He wants to go to Albania to fight a pro match. You guys have any venues on your bucket list still that you have yet to check off?
Definitely the MGM. They still do fights there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Canelo's next weekend. Well, at the T-Mobile.
At the T-Mobile, yeah. I would say Vegas.
Okay.
With the crowd, like, being in the UK with over 10,000, I'm like, I want the bigger crowds in the venue that can fill those seats, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see a European invasion later on tonight here as the main card gets underway on Dazn. Let's go inside the ring and get the final tally for David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds here at Madison score totals, Eric Marlinski, Don Trella, and Martha Tremblay all scored this bout identically, 80-72 for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated, the Albanian Bear, Rashad Motti.
Well, a clean shutout on the scorecards for Rashad Motti, 80-72. He rocks the Albo 316 shirt. I think Sparkle Lee was admiring his threads. He picks up win number 12, improves to 12-0. There were times where he could potentially put his foot on the gas, go pedal to the metal. Did seem like he let Hernandez off the hooks at times, but overall, like we see with Skye Nicolson, Khalil before Rashad Motti, a very clean and essentially flawless performance by the Staten Islanders.
Yeah, absolutely. Clear victory for Rashad Motti. He showed a great jab, good left hook to the body, was able to pick his opponent apart throughout, maintained great defense pretty much the entire fight. A lot of clean, effective punching. The only thing not clean about the fight was the trash talk between the two of them, which happened quite a bit from round to round. Hernandez, who couldn't muster up much offense, was throwing a lot of lip service at Rashad. But Rashad kept answering with power punches, right hands up top, and left hooks to the liver.
And lightning quick jab, pumping left hands to the body. Those are the two throws that really stood out to me, but also, it didn't take much because of the speed in which Hernandez was coming at Motti. Overall, though, nice, clean angling. Good footwork from Rashad Motti.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a classic matchup of a bull and a matador. Rashad Motti touch his man, keep moving, and Hernandez was not able to muster up much offense at all.
Well, Rashad Motti with the Steve Austin theme here, coming out with the glass shattering, the elbow 316 shirts as well. He said that he wanted to also celebrate with, I guess, a couple of Motti wives, but for him, those are Mountain Dews. So we didn't see that. It may be happening on he walks his way back to the dressing room. We'll see. Nevertheless, Rashad Motti improving to 12-0 in his pro career. He sparkles here in his MSC debut. There you see him walk back to the dressing room, flashing some love for the camera. It's exciting to see what lies ahead for an exciting prospect like Motti, who's very close to climbing out of that prospect rank.
Yeah, he's right there. You know, he's at 12-0. Now it's like when you start to see guys when they start to fight that crossroads fight with another top prospect to see whose career is going to go up, who's going to take a slide down. I think he's right about there, you know, so look for those kind of fights soon.
I would agree. I feel like he is right there as well. And again, I think another fighter, maybe similar to Hernandez, could still say, what can you do with this type of opponent?
Might go back to what we were saying before with Motti, how he felt in his last fight. Doesn't necessarily have a hard time, but goes through hard fights. You'll learn some lessons there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, Rashad Motti improving to 12-0. We have one more to go here on Before the Bell. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be for a regional title fight, and for both fighters, their first opportunity at a title as a pro. We'll take a break and come back with more here on Before the Bell.
Tough times can either make you or break you. It was tough, but it made me.
This was the moment that Anthony Joshua became a major star.
I was just shouting at him like, come on, let's fight, where you running? And this is the passion of Dylan White. I thought there was going to be riots in the crowd, I really did. In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Klitschko back for the second time, all over the place.
You're one shot away from trouble or disaster at any point.
You have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come.
This is for the moments when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you, you went and changed the sport.
Taylor is an absolute legend of the sport of boxing.
This is for one of the biggest fights of all time. For the first women to headline Madison Square Garden. For greatness. For undisputed. For history.
Back here on Before the Bell, that was quick, Lisa. Nice work. We're trying to get pictures in. This is a big festive night here at Madison Square Garden because history is about to be made. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano going at it. The first two women to headline a main event inside this room, the main arena here at Madison Square Garden. We're talking about 143 years of history. Obviously not in this physical building. There was one uptown, and then they came downtown here to their current address. But overall, it is a massive and a game changer in terms of a main event between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. There's plenty of other action going on in the main card, though, beginning at 7:30 on Dazn. You have Galio Fai, his second pro fight, and he's making his first title defense, but also another undisputed opportunity for two women at 168 pounds with Franchon Cruz Dazn and Aline Cederroos.
You know, Franchon Cruz is ready, again, just to be in this historic event. The energy is going to be so high for her, just to be a woman in this sport, in this arena, and I think when she's going to just have an amazing performance. I think she's been waiting for this.
There's been a lot in the way of Franchon Cruz Dazn over time. She had to fight back for her titles after the positive PE test from Alvarez. She's able to do that, able to train for this fight on and off, going through a training camp and having it end back and forth. Each fighter has kind of gone through the same, I guess, the same struggles, the same hurdles to get to this moment, but I feel like it's paid off. Same thing for Liam Smith and Jesse Vargas. Both fighters going through multiple training camps that ultimately end without a fight. And there's been a lot of adversity through those two fighters as well, kind of called a crossroads fight here, and they're able to do it in this great venue.
Yeah, and those guys, I mean, a ton of experience between the two, the most experience on the card by far, are fighting each other, and on top of that, they have bad blood. I'm actually really looking forward to that fight. Neither one of them are the kind of guys who disappoint. They both have great chins, they're both very durable and tough, so I think that's going to be a very exciting fight.
A lot of people were playing up Jesse Vargas, his campaign for Congress out in Nevada, and whether or not that sidetracks someone. Obviously, if you're a fighter, you got to be a full-time fighter, but does that play a factor in any of this going into tonight?
Maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, I know Jesse for years. He's the kind of guy who elevates himself when he has a lot of pressure put on himself. But listen, if we're talking about someone who's balancing fights and politics, Manny Pacquiao has been doing it for years now, and he's been done it at the highest level, so it can be done.
Going into the main event, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. We talked about this at the top of Before the Bell, but let's talk about this venue. That's what we're spending some time here on. Amanda Serrano, despite being a 13-year pro, despite being a Brooklyn native, she's never fought in this room. She's won the Golden Glove. She's won a bunch of previous pro fights inside the Hulu Theater. But in terms of this room, Katie Taylor has the experience. How much does this atmosphere come into play when both could be in the trenches later on tonight?
Huge. You know, I think for Amanda, she was waiting for this moment to happen. And I think that she's going to take full advantage of this moment, knowing that she's been a pro for quite some time, and now you're fighting at the biggest arenas. And again, this is telling all fans that women are headlining at the Madison Square Garden. It's amazing.
You fought in both places. You fought downstairs, you fought upstairs. You're a New York guy as well. What's the biggest difference?
Oh, the energy. The energy is, you can't compare the two at all. Listen, downstairs, the Hulu Theater is one of the best venues in New York, in the New York area, but the Garden, it's the Mecca. The energy all week has been on a different level. I'm getting tingles thinking about it right now. It's just a whole different thing when it comes to fighting in the big room.
And that is where some less experience in our next fight could come into play. Austin Ammo Williams has fought here in this room before on the Joshua Ruiz card. Cordell Booker has more experience overall, but could it be offset a little bit with that atmosphere here inside this room? We're about to find out. The main card here Before the Bell about to begin. Let's go to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, New York, USA, live on Dazn, we are set to go with a special middleweight attraction. Two young undefeated southpaws going head-to-head in a nix-a-nil contest. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome the undefeated Cordell, the Gift Booker.
Well, this is a moment Cordell Booker has long awaited. 30 years of age, 17-0 record. He has 7 knockouts. He's a southpaw with a very solid amateur pedigree, who is putting his perfect record on the line here tonight. He picked up an 8-round unanimous decision victory over Severio Ortiz in his last fight. That was back in September. This is his first ever title fight as a pro. That has taken place in an arena that he's always wanted to fight in. He said it is his time. He's put in way too much work. He has the experience, and he's looking to seize this moment. Big reason why Cordell Booker got into boxing is because he wanted to fight at Madison Square Garden for the Golden Glove. He's fighting for a pro title now here tonight in Madison Square Garden. That could be a little bit sweeter if he comes out on top.
Very similar mindset to what I had when I was coming up. I had been to so many fights in the Garden when I was a kid that was why I wanted to be a boxer.
And now, set to make his ring walk, here is the young, hard-hitting, undefeated southpaw from H-Town, Austin Ammo Williams.
Austin Ammo Williams, he turns 26 on Tuesday, 10-0, 8 knockouts, and this is going to be his first title fight and his first 10-round fight. It's also his second time, like we mentioned, fighting in the big arena at MSG. He's fought in the MGM Grand Garden Arena. He's fought in the O2. To say all this is impressive for a third-year pro, that would be accurate, but he only started boxing at 19. Before that, he was playing college hoops at the University of North Texas. So to be fighting for his first pro belt at 10-0 in his 6th year of boxing, he said it's like he knows he is living history.
I like those trunks. It's giving me ideas for my next uniform.
Take a note. Take a note.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden here in New York City, live on Dazn, we are set to go with a special middleweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by William Hill, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Chain Mind, Crowd RX, Renaissance Hotels, and JD Sports. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission and the World Boxing Association. The president, Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. The supervisor is Julio Time. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside, all from the state of New York: John McKay, Tom Schreck, and Robin Taylor. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring from New York, referee Charlie Fitch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant WBA Continental America's Middleweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and gray camouflage. This southpaw scaled 157.4 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 17 fights, 17 victories, 7 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Stamford, Connecticut, here is the gift, Cordell Booker. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the gold trunks with the yellow tassel. He is also a southpaw, and he scaled already 158.8 pounds. His professional record, also a perfect one. 10 fights, 10 victories, 8 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated, hard-hitting southpaw from Houston, Texas, Austin Ammo Williams.
Good evening, Cordell. Good evening, Austin. Gentlemen, you both know the rules. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch close now. Come on, fighting at the bell.
The man in the corner of Austin Ammo Williams wearing t-shirts that say strap season on it. Williams walked on at the University of North Texas as a basketball player, walked off because he didn't like the team sport aspect, didn't like anything being in the hands of anyone other than him. And here he is, his 6th year of boxing, and he's fighting for the vacant WBA Continental America's title against Cordell Booker at Madison Square Garden. Ammo Williams in the gold trunks, at least he's a big fan, and Cordell Booker in the silver and black camo.
I always say you don't have to be a great athlete to be a great boxer, but Ammo Williams is a great athlete, and it certainly doesn't hurt.
I would agree to that. Being an athlete, you know, plus the boxer, you definitely have some advantage there.
Good shots there by Booker, actually landed. Good left hand over the top.
Minor headbutt as Booker came up. Crouching low, changes levels nicely, does Cordell Booker. He's 17-0.
I would consider this a step-up fight for Emma Williams. Cordell Booker is a seasoned guy, very, very tricky in there. He's undefeated as well, so.
Well, Ammo called Booker the best opponent that he's faced. Definitely from a skills perspective. Good left hand coming over the top from Williams.
Yeah, that overhand left is finding a home.
Williams said he's going to have to take this victory, not earn it.
You could just see the balance of Williams. It's so good. He's so set in his feet.
Right hand may have stumbled Booker. Williams trying to go to work. He adds 4 first-round knockouts to his name.
I like to see Booker.
Oh, big left hand. It stumbles Booker.
Cordell's in a lot of trouble right now.
Plenty of time on the clock for Ammo Williams to try and find that sweet spot in a title fight. Booker trying to find himself, trying to fight back, rifling left hands. Charlie Fitch watching closely. No punches being thrown from Booker.
Hold on.
Punches thrown from all angles.
Booker has no defense with that overhand left.
And Booker's out of the ring here in the first round.
He might have been better off going down instead of taking all that punishment.
Cordell Booker still hurt. He's out on his feet. That's going to do it. 5th round, the 5th time for Ammo Williams. He gets a knockout in the first round. And Booker with a look of disgust on his face. But Ammo Williams coming away with his first pro title in just his 11th pro fight.
Too big, too strong, too athletic. Austin Williams is a bad man.
Again, came out first round, aggressive, saying, hey, I'm going to take this fight, and he did exactly that.
Austin Ammo Williams all week here in New York. Very personable, very down to earth, giving anyone who had a request of him the time, the kindness, and then it felt like a flip switch yesterday at the weigh-in. The look in his eyes, the stare down. You saw his jaw clenched as he stared down Cordell Booker. Something changed. He's allowed to put himself in a different space. It seemed like it's lasted all the way here to fight night. And Austin Ammo Williams picks up his 5th first-round knockout as a pro. He disposes of Cordell Booker in short order. Eddie Hearn all smiles.
At this level, you know, when you're fighting on a big stage like this, you're fighting an undefeated fighter, you have to make an impression, especially for Eddie Hearn, right?
Yeah. Statement made.
160-pound weight class on notice. If they weren't already taking notice of this explosive and accurate puncher. Now seemingly on the fast track at 160. Ammo called this the elevation stage. He said 99% of fighters, they don't get to this moment here. Now he's the 1% moving forward. He's mentioned a potential future bout with Anthony Fowler, who Liam Smith dispatched in his last fight. This one, that possibly more realistic now.
I believe him and Fowler have had words on Twitter as well, so that fight makes a lot of sense.
Just 11 fights in, and Ammo Williams has some hardware. It's draft season for Austin Williams. Let's go down to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Charlie Fitch calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 25 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by TKO. He's still undefeated. And the new WBA Continental America's middleweight champion, Austin Ammo Williams.
see his trainer, Kevin Cunningham, southpaw specialist trainer out of South Florida. Ammo Williams, about 13 months ago, he outpointed Dennis Douglin, who's become a pretty good gatekeeper here in the sport around the 160, 168 weight class. Then he took some time off, attended to some mental health issues that he wanted to fix. He did. He found some peace and quiet, more calmness, found himself in the right place, aligned himself with Kevin Cunningham, now living in South Florida, in that stable with Kevin Cunningham. You know, he's joined by guys like Erickson Lubin. Cunningham has trained other Southpaw champions, David Alexander, Corey Spinks. And Ammo Williams just loved the culture and the atmosphere of being in a world-class environment. And this was his third fight with Kevin Cunningham here. He called the first one back in late 2021, obviously the feel-out fight with him and his trainer. Second one, you start to put things together a little bit. And here, well, you take off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Ammo came out with fire in his eyes. He wanted to make a statement. I believe he did that here against the most experienced opponent he's been in the ring with, another undefeated fighter. Booker just had no answer for the left hand, the power, the size, the balance, the explosion. Ammo Williams looked tremendous tonight.
Ammo Williams capturing the vacant WBA Continental Americas title here at Madison Square Garden.
All right. Hey, Dubs, you can keep the music on. Just turn it down just for a second.
A dominant showcase here for Ammo Williams as he improves to 11-0, picks up his 9th knockout and his 5th in the first round. Extremely impressive, and it is a happy night for him.
Clarissa Shields in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hear David Diamante say that Clarissa Shields is in the house. There are going to be a lot of prominent figures across women's boxing in the house tonight, but Ammo Williams all smiles as he walks back to the dressing room with his first strap. Realistically now, yeah, you have the regional title. Again, you only have 11 fights under your belt. Does any of that matter now that you have the strap?
No, I mean, the regional titles they're important for rankings, but with a guy like Austin Williams, it's not going to matter. He's going to skyrocket up the rankings because of what he does, what he brings to the sport, you know, from his personality to the way he fights. People want to see guys like that. So, yeah, those belts are great, but at this point, they're basically trinkets.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say, you know, having a title is just a motivation to a bigger stage, and I think Williams is a hungry fighter, and I think this is just a stepping stool for him to be like, I got this, what's next?
Now, Austin Ammo Williams improving to 12-0. Here on Before the Bell, we saw a lot of dominant performances. What stood out the most to you?
I love this last fight. I love his energy coming out. Again, he wanted to make a statement. Williams did that, and I want to see him again in the ring.
What about you, Chris?
I was impressed with Khalil. I saw some things in him that I wasn't sure was there. I had heard about it. You know, people had told me they've seen it. I hadn't seen it. He showed it tonight, so I'm very impressed with the way that he's been able to develop as a pro.
We're going to have Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn up here in a few moments, as well as we cap off Before the Bell and get into this main card coming up at 7:30 Eastern on Dazn, all leading up to Taylor Serrano. This place, it's filling up quite nicely. A lot of folks from Ireland, a lot of folks from Europe, all together, coming over. You see it at the Fighter Hotel, all around the events, especially at the official weigh-in in the Hulu Theater yesterday. Guys, you both fought overseas. Describe that crowd in those venues and what we may expect with their presence here in this room this evening.
Well, you go first. You were just there.
Yes, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be very energetic. You know, the culture is coming out tonight, and again, they're out here, and they're loyal fans here, you know, from all over the world. So I'm really excited to see just the energy in this building tonight.
I've experienced it already. They're out in droves already. They've been here all week. They got in a couple days ago. Manhattan is full of Katie Taylor fans. You know, the European fans, they're different. They love this. They love this sport. They come out for their fighters. They buy tickets. They come to the shows. They fly across. They love going to Vegas. It's just a different energy that they bring.
I saw 2 Irish women on the elevator ride down to the lobby today, draped in big Irish flags. And then if you go around Manhattan, there are obviously a lot of Irish pubs here.
Yeah.
All the A-boards on the sidewalk, inviting people to come in for the fight with the drawings of, Katie Taylor and having the message, good luck, Katie, in your big fight tonight. This is happening in Amanda Serrano's hometown.
Yes.
That throws a big wrinkle into all of this, because if all this is happening for Serrano, does it still feel like a home fight?
Oh, it will, because the Puerto Rican fans fighting in New York, they're going to come out too. So as much as the Irish fans, the European fans that have come out for Katie Taylor, the New Yorkers are going to come out for Amanda Serrano. It is going to be war in here.
They clashed well with the rock violins from Seraphin, the Irish violin duo that came out at the weigh-in yesterday, the Tamboras from the Puerto Rican contingent. It was a nice clash there at the weigh-in. First 3 rounds of Taylor Serrano. What are you going to be watching for?
I see Amanda coming out aggressively. I think she comes out very aggressively, and so I think she's gonna off the bat. Katie, she's just gonna use her general ring set just to really play with, not even play with her, just to feel herself out. What's this fight gonna be like? Is it gonna be aggressive throughout the fight? Is it gonna be a dog fight in the middle of the ring? We don't know that yet until we see who comes out forward.
One interesting thing that I'm going to be watching for, how Katie Taylor could potentially deal with a Pursoonian-like approach from a fighter who, hey, she's been more successful than Delphine Pursoon and Amanda Serrano. Is that something that could knock Katie Taylor off the rhythm early?
Well, Delphine is a very, she's a volume fighter. She throws a ton of punches. She's nonstop. She's falling over her feet, coming forward to throw. Very aggressive, difficult style to deal with. Amanda Serrano is very, very different. She's a lot more measured, a lot more balanced, much lower in her stance, also hits a lot harder. Still very active. I expect both women to fight like they fight. I think we're going to see the Katie Taylor. We're going to see the Amanda Serrano being super aggressive. We're going to see Katie Taylor fighting her fight. And I think whoever can get the other person to fight their fight is going to be victorious.
Exactly.
We are only a handful of hours away from this building becoming electric with those 2 fighters walk out to the ring and clash to make history for the undisputed 135-pound title. Let's get a closer look at the buildup to Taylor Serrano.
This is for the moments when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you, you went and changed the sport.
Amanda Serrano's the GOAT. Katie Taylor is an absolute legend of the sport of boxing.
This is for one of the biggest fights of all time. For the first women to headline Madison Square Garden. For greatness. For undisputed. For history.
This, I kind of went crazy. I wanted to go after him.
The young gun aggressive.
I only want to knock people out.
You just kept this motivation going. I was like, wait a minute, this boy just doesn't stop.
I felt like I had hours to hit him with that shot.
Boom!
When I'm done conquering this division, I'll conquer the next one.
I will be a true world champion. Man, what a fight.